Hello everyone, today I'm thrilled to introduce the final installment from our Swells Core libraries, Brass Swells Core. With string and wind swells core, the trio is finally completed and it's a force to be reckoned with. They sound great on their own, phenomenal when they're together, and you can play a chord and have the sound of a full orchestra recorded in one of the best studios in London under your fingertips. If you're not familiar with the Pro version of the swell libraries, they offer playable tempo sync swells that start from a low dynamic, grow to a climax, and then go back to the original state. And this makes it really easy to create lifelike performances. There's no need for any complex MIDI editing with the pencil tool or even moving the mod wheel while you play, because the expression and the dynamics of the players are already there. You don't need to worry about that, so you can focus on what matters the most, which is writing great music. There are 5 beautiful articulations, multiple mic positions, dozens of custom presets called design patches, which lean more on the sound design side of the library, the mapping page where you can decide the individual range of the articulations so you can create your own custom ensemble, and a lot more. So let's dive right in and see why Brass Swells Core might just be the one for you. It's derived from the same samples as the Pro version and features the main normal articulation in all 5 bar lengths. So we can start with half a bar. Sounds beautiful in the lower register, but I think it's really effective in the higher register. As a clatter, a stinger that adds tension. Sounds great. Then we can move to 1 bar. Beautiful, and of course with 1 bar you can already start singing something a bit longer. Now we have 2 bars. It's very versatile, the 2 bars. In fact, it's probably the one I use the most with the 4 bars. Then we can move on to 3 bars. It's an incredibly moving sound. It's so well recorded. It's clean, it's neat, and yet there's this human warmth and human touch that it's undeniable. And then at the end we have 4 bars. There's also a legato patch, which means you can now seamlessly change note midway through your chord, and I use it all the time. It made a massive difference in my writing, as I can now add a short melody on top of my chords. So as you can hear, this feature is a true game changer as it opens up so many more possibilities. Then there are legato and non-legato patches without the retongue. And retonguing is when the players use the tongue to break the flow of air so the note is separated. In this case, it's at the top of the swell, so in the middle. And the Retongue allows for a natural performance, but if you don't want that, it's completely fine. We got you covered, and you can just select the no Retongue option, and so you can have a smooth sound without any interruptions. They both sound really good, and it's just down to taste what you choose. And I personally tend to mix them in the piece for more variety and realism. Now it's time to talk about the design patches, which I think is a lot what Sonic Cinema is really about, which is pushing boundaries and experimenting. And as you can imagine, they are more on the sound design side of the library, and I find them really inspiring, and they immediately add a modern, edgy sound to the library. We built them using the main patches and some of the onboard effects. I'm going to play through a few of them. There are 10 brand new design patches, and the first one is called Arrakis. I absolutely love this one. I love the reverb and the space and the delay. Really stunning. Then we can listen to another one. We can listen to Ominous. Wow, super cinematic. And of course, I'm influenced by the names of the patches, but it really fits the ominous. I felt like I was almost in the Lord of the Rings here. Now we have Zoned. And finally, we can listen to a smooth repeater. Really like it as an effect with the short dissonant notes. Brass Swells Core offers the same powerful features as the Pro version, which gives you a lot of control over the sound. If we check out the global panel here, we have the proximity slider, which controls the mic positions, so you can check out how it affects them in real time. And by default, the auto purge button is on, which you can find it here. And what it does, it unloads the unused mic positions, so the patches are a lot smaller. But if you're moving the proximity slider, you just have to wait for 1 second or less for the mic to load, while if it's off, there's no problem. Then we have the expression slider, which controls the overall patch volume. Gloss and blur are high pass and low pass filter. We have a sub, which I find it really useful, and it can be either clean or dirty. And what it does adds a bit of extra power and oomph to the sound. This is the clean one, and now is the dirty one. I used it quite a lot in my pieces since we introduced it. And then we have the dynamic slider, where you can use to tame the dynamics. Then heading over to the mix page, as I mentioned before, here you have access to 4 different mic positions: close, mid, far, and ambient, and a custom mix. And you can really craft your own preferred mix here. So I'm going to move the proximity slider to 100%, which is 100% close. It's a really nice dry up front sound. And then I'm going to turn it down to 0% to show you the difference. So really different, and just goes to show how much control you have over the sound, and it's really up to you to find your preferred mix. I usually don't tend to have a lot of closed mics in my cinematic brass, because a lot of the closed mic usually take me to a jazzy sound, while I like my brass a bit more lush. So I usually focus on mid, far, and ambient. We also have a custom mix from our engineer, and you can use it by itself or in combination with the other mics. We also have a lot of effects on board, like reverb, and check out how many available there are, and you can change a lot, how it sounds, then degrade or delay, and you can activate them just by clicking on them. Then there's the EQ and the envelope, where you can change things like attack, decay, sustain, and release. I usually tend to add a bit more release to my chords, so they smoothly connect with each other. Then if we head over to the gator page, we can toggle this here and activate it. And what it does, it adds a gator to the sound to add even more movement to your chords. And I find it really useful, both on its own or in combination with a clean sound. And this is how it sounds like. Super cool. In the walkthrough for the pro version, I go really in detail and show everything, and all the presets and how you can shift around and everything. So if you are interested, and I really recommend watching it, please check out the full walkthrough. Now I'll show you more in detail what's the difference between Core and Pro with the 2 libraries side by side, so you can have a clear idea. The main difference is that the Pro version includes 5 articulations: loud, normale, pulse, mute, and air, while the Core version only 1. And as a result, the Pro version has features like the mapping page, which allows you to customize the range of each articulation and create your own unique ensemble. So for example, I can turn on pulse and set it to the higher register, loud in the middle, normale in the lowest, and maybe mute also somewhere high up. And let's hear it. Additionally, the Pro version offers a wider selection of design patches. You can see there are dozens of them, and then pairs and multis, which are pre-made combination of 2 or more articulations. Other than these differences, the Core version includes the same features as the Pro version. As I mentioned in the beginning, when you combine all the Swells Core libraries, it's truly remarkable what you can achieve, and I wrote a little example to show you a bit the magic of this trio. Unlike Brass Swells Pro, which works in the full Kontakt Player, Brass Swells Core requires the full version of Kontakt 6.8.0 or above. Brass Swells Core is £49, but if you're managing to catch this at the time of the release, you can save an additional 20%, meaning it's only £39. Also, if you own any other Swells Core Pro libraries and want to pick up more, you can save 30% off other additional instruments. So this is Brass Swells Core, and I think it's a perfect entry point for the Swells collection. I personally am a massive fan of Brass Swells, I love it, and it really gives you the tools to elevate your composition and productions at an unbeatable price. I'll leave a link in the description to the full workflow if you want to check it out. I really encourage you to do that as I go in detail and explain more deeply all the features that the library has. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and we hope you enjoy it.